7 turn right, heading 185, reduce speed 180 knots.
185 on the heading, 180 on the Takeoff Air 007.
Speedbird 124, reduce speed 160 knots to 40 me.
Reduce 160 to 4, speed 124.
Hi there guys, Matt here, hope you're all well and welcome back to another X-Plane video and episode number 2 of my Let's Mirror Jet2.com Ops series. It's a bit of a mouthful. We're back where we left off, albeit we have changed stand. We did arrive on stand 13, which is that one there next to the Thomas Cook, and we've moved across to stand 15. We'll just pretend there's a reason for that, although I don't have one off the top of my head. However, I decided that even though this aircraft doesn't have working doors, that I would employ the use of Ground Handling Deluxe from JAR Design. It's one of their better products. It's almost like a GSX replacement. Not really a replacement, a GSX version for X-Plane, if that makes sense. It essentially does the same thing that GSX does with an X-Plane. Yeah, there you go. There are actually a few features it doesn't do, but for the most part, it brings the aircraft to life on stand, and that is definitely worth having. As soon as as soon as IXEG even update this aircraft with doors and stuff like that, then it will look even more aesthetically pleasing. But it is what it is. I did have this catering van up to the first right door, but it just looked a little bit too clustered. So I removed it, and it looks okay like that. So that's how we're starting the video. For the people from the last video who were complaining about me moving the camera too much, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep that to a minimum today. So if you get dizzy or sick or whatever, then I do apologize. However, I asked you in the last episode to let me know what you wanted me to fly and where we should fly. The whole point of these videos are that we're mirroring an airline, in this case Jet2, and we've based ourselves at Leeds. And a bunch of you had some fantastic suggestions. Some of you completely ignored what I said and requested the most ridiculous flights that Jet2 don't even operate, but hey ho, that's just the way it is. But the most voted on, the most commented on, was on the flight from here to Heraklion, down in Greece. Is it Greece? Yeah, Heraklion's in Greece. Yeah, of course it is. I thought it was in Turkey then for some reason. Yeah, Greece. We're off to Greece. Lima Golf India Romeo. I've never been there real life. I can't remember. I've been to some Greek islands, but I just don't think I've been to Heraklion. However, there is TDG, this guy that makes some epic freeware scenery, has made a version of Heraklion, albeit it's a few years old, but it looks pretty nice. So by the time we get down there, it's probably going to be, I want to say sunset. It won't be completely dark. It's about 4 hours of flying, and that will make it about, I want to say, 7 PM their time when we land. So it'll just be going dark, 7 or 8 PM their time. As for the weather here, it's not so great. Yeah, the clouds are okay. This seems to be quite tiered, so that should be interesting flying through those. It doesn't seem to be giving us a break anywhere, so that should be fun. What was I going to say about weather? Oh, that was it. SkyMax Pro. I tried to install it and I can't get it to work, so I think I need to re-download it or something, but I just don't have the time to reinstall it. A lot of people in the last video were going, oh, use SkyMax Pro, the clouds are far better. I like these clouds. I don't like the repeating textures, but apparently that's a bug with X-Plane that they're fixing. But as far as the actual clouds go, I like them. I like the look of them, so there's that. Anyway, if you see this happen when my mouse goes over this way, in this and any future episodes, the way of recording X-Plane now means that I basically, I'm capturing my screen raw. So I'm just cropping out the top and the bottom bits so you can't see my taskbar and the menu at the top. But if I move off my screen to my other computer where my flight plan is, then the main menu from the IXEG pops up. So if you keep seeing that every 2 seconds, I'm sorry, but I'll try to keep that to a minimum. However, this is Shanix 443 or Chanix 443, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Departs 15:45 local, apparently. 4 hours 20 minutes en route. And we are limited to flight level 330 apparently, because Jet 2's aircraft are limited to that. Zero fuel weight today is, let's see, 47.2 tons. Actually, we'll round that up to 47.3. So we will go to ground services and we will set that like so. 47.354, yeah, 28's okay. And total fuel today is 12 tons, so extremely heavy. I would assume that this is probably like the max range that you can get out of this thing. We'll see. Anyway, realistic fuel on that, and you can see elevator trim is 3.6 units, etc., etc. That will show in the FMC when we go to prepare it. No company route, so we're going to have to plan everything ourselves. We're going to have to program the FMC ourselves. So that's pretty much everything set from this point of view. So we'll hop inside, we'll get things set up, and then we'll get out of here. Using runway 32 today, so we'll be taxiing out through Delta here. This is taxiway Delta, and then we'll backtrack, spin around, and away we go. It's going to be a pretty powerful takeoff, and I'll explain a little bit about that once we set up. Okay, let's do this. Right, so I've left it as we left it last time. The great thing about this is when you reload from the last episode, or the last time you've used it, the last episode, that's funny, the last time you use it even, you will have the same state, so it's pretty cool. QNH is 1019, so we can set that to 1019 once, and the standby can go to 1019 twice. I should just make that 1019, there you go. And 3 times over there, perfect. And then we can start to program stuff. The IRSs are already aligned, so we don't need to bother with any of that. We can put the window heats on, I guess, like so, and all of the stuff, bleeds are off, bleeds are on, even packs are off, and everything else is good. Okay, so let's program the route. Index, ident, check we've got the latest nav data, which we have, and we're on the ground at Leeds, November Mike. And we are off to LGIR, which is Heraklion. Flight number is EXS443, Shunex 443, and runway 32 is the departing runway. So from runway 32 today, we are taking Lamix to Whiskey, and from Lamix we are going UL603 to a place called El Valley, if that's even how you pronounce it. El Valley, like that. Oh, actually, no, that doesn't look right. Elite, wait, Evely? Evely, my bad. There we go. Then we are direct to a place called Podip, Papa Oscar Delta India Papa, and from there we are direct to Tesca, Tango Esco, really, Tango Echo Sierra Golf Alpha, and then from there we are actually using an airway this time, which is the UL603 again, as far as a place called Dinku, which is in Germany. From there we are Upper November 132, or UN. I don't know why I say, yeah, it is Upper November, isn't it? It's the upper airway, so UN 132, and that's not even right for some reason, because I missed something out. Good. I actually missed out the UM867. Like that. No, why is it not working? UM867. Dinku is the last place. Dinku. Upper Mike 867. Ah, I must have put it in wrong. To Giluk. Golf India Lima Uniform Kilo. Like so. And then UN 132. To Ablon, and then Ablon, Upper Bravo 1 to Alpha Tango Victor, and then the UM749 as far as Ipalo, and then it's the arrival into Heraklion. Okay, cool. Let's have a look what the landing runway is there predicted at the moment. Runway 27. So we will activate that, and then we'll throw that in as well, so VNAV actually works. And we're coming in via the Apollo 1 Alpha, which is this one. And it will be a VOR DME approach for runway 27 from Gonzo, like so. Okay, so we'll just check through all the legs, make sure everything's there, everything's good. Excellent. Init ref page. So, fuel, we will leave it to fuel for the moment, and we'll put in the 0 fuel weight. Someone mentioned about this in the previous video, and I'm going to explain a little bit of what he said in just a second. 0 fuel weight, what was it? 47.3. 47.3. And reserves are, let's see, 1.2 plus 9, so 2.1, and then 2.6. So reserves are 2.6. We're cruising, as I said, we're actually limited to flight level 330, so we're cruising at flight level 330, and up at 330, the wind is 052 at 21 knots, and the outside air temperature up there is minus 52, which will give you a deviation of minus 3. Transition altitude is fine at 5,000. So I got it wrong actually. Planned fuel / fuel itself, so the fuel the actual aircraft has. I assumed that the if you just put the planned fuel in and left it there, it wouldn't make a difference to any of the speeds, and apparently it does. So I'm never touching planned fuel again. Yeah, it's a bad idea. It can cause some serious problems with the V speeds. So we want to take 11. Was it 11 point? No, we want to take 12 tons of fuel, and they're still boarding that. So we'll just wait for that to happen, which is in another what, 200 kilograms. So it's fine. N1 limit. Now here's the funny part. So I got my friend to do some calculations for me because I don't have a calculator for this thing, so there's no possible way of knowing what to do. And he ran it through his thing because he flies them in real life. And he gave me these figures. It's an interesting one because it's almost max. Like we basically are a ton under max everything. It's just ridiculously heavy. And Leeds isn't exactly the longest of runways, so we need to use every ounce of power that we have. So it's just 20k everything it's got with flat 5, and it's also with packs off as well, which will give us a little bit more power, and then we'll be okay. So you can see the speeds here. 152 is the V2 speed, which is like way higher than I've ever seen before on this aircraft. So that's what we've got to deal with. The other FMC, I'll just stick on the... I don't know why that's never the same brightness. It's really weird. I'll leave that on the legs page on the other side. But if we check the progress page, that actually won't give us anything, apparently. Weird. Oh, actually, the progress page isn't done yet, is it? What am I doing? I'll keep thinking I'm in the NG. The progress page isn't done, so we'll keep it on the takeoff page. Right, okay, so that is essentially everything done. 3.4 units of trim, we already know that. And we can start prepping the rest of the cockpit now. So we'll just wind down these to minus 20. We'll put that on map mode, and also that on map mode too. The range is fine at 10, same for that side. And we'll go to 1228, because we're actually on VATSIM. Not that there'll be any ATC, because it's an afternoon time, but hey-ho. 122.8. We'll transfer that across. Perfect. Okay, sweet. So I guess we can deal with the bugs now. So, same as last time. 80 knots, if I can do it. And then you want V1, which is 142. 142, 142, 142. And V2. This is very strange. Can you move? Pull to set. Wait, there we go. Why can't I go? Ah, I can move it. That's so weird. Yeah, someone said you should be able to set it based upon. There we go. So I can move it with the little dial here. So V2 is 152. So there's 15. There's 152. And then we want V2 plus 15. So 165. And there's 170. So it's about there. And then 210, which is 210 is there. Okay, that makes sense. I assumed that the orange bug here was either linked to this or the MCP, and I don't know which one it is. But I've taken it manually now. I think that's what this M means here up the top. So basically, I have full control over this, which I guess is fine as long as you remember to do it. So yeah, we'll flick this across to there. And that is pretty much just set up, to be fair. There isn't really much else to do. Oh yeah, someone mentioned about arming the auto throttle on the stand. I double checked it is completely fine to do this. And same for anything else. It's a little bit different than the NG, so yeah, I did my research and that's what I came to the conclusion of. Belts can go on. And now we can just bring out the checklist, I guess, and we'll run through that. So, pre-flight pins and covers, it's fine, it's not modelled. Oxygen, okay. Instrument transfer switches, again, are normal in the middle. Window heats, we already turned on. Air conditioning and pressurization. Well, we're climbing to 330, so we need to put that in. Like so. We can deal with the cabin altitude and landing altitude later on. I'm not really bothered about that just now. The packs are off, and ISO's auto. Leads are on. Flight instruments, back this way. Both reading the same. Yep. QNH set 3 times, 1019. And they're all reading about 700 feet. Well, actually, no, the middle one isn't, but yeah. About 700 feet. Parking brake is set. Engine start levers cut off. Rudder and aileron trim. It's over here somewhere. See, that's 0. And taxi and takeoff briefing. We already discussed where we're going. Fuel, we have a total of just under 12 tons. And the pumps are on, including the center pumps need to be on as well. Passenger signs are on. Serial pre-flight is completed. And takeoff speeds we have set 142, 144, 152 and their bug. And MCP set 152. And MCP is set 152, heading 234. And altitude of 4,000 feet, although there's no ATC, so it makes really no difference. Actually, why am I saying 234? We're not at Manchester. Let's actually try the runway heading 320. There we go, auto brake RTO, and that's the pre-flight checklist complete. We can also do the before start checklist as well. So flight deck doors not modelled, doors and windows are closed. Anti-collision light needs to come on, but first of all we need to get rid of those ground equipment things. So we will look outside and we will remove them. So I need to go to ground handling, and then I need to go to control panel, and so we need to move things one by one. So we'll get rid of the stairways like this. We'll get rid of the van, we don't need the van. We'll get rid of all the cones like so. We will get rid of the loaders like that, and also we will get rid of the other catering, which is number 2, and then the fuel number 2 as well. Go. Cool. We can close that. Everything's gone, and we can call the ground and say we want to push back straight, and we'll put the anti-collision light on, and that should complete the before start checklist. Transponder is on auto 2000. Okay. I was right about the pushback. It's not a complete simulation of it yet, so we're just waiting for them to update that. So it will do for now, but it's not completed. So yeah. Right. Okay. We can release the parking brakes, start the clock on the other side. Everything's where it needs to be. Park brake released. Here goes 4 hours and 20 minutes of flying. On the pushback, I'll explain about the takeoff. So, various airlines do the packs off whole takeoff thing differently. I actually didn't check how they do it at Jet2. I probably should have done that. So I'm just going to do it my way. So essentially, you just take off with the packs off, keep them on until you're ready to go, and then turn them off. And then once you're passing, I guess 3,000 feet at least, you can just switch them back on, and then you're pretty much done. Okay, so it seems to want to turn us, which is weird. There we go. On the pushback, we can start engine number 2. I'm trying to get the pushback like spot on from the VC. Nope, I've already screwed it. Disregard. Yeah. Turn too late. Far, 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 far too late. I'm just going to keep turning, and fingers crossed we'll actually not end up on the grass. Fueling. This is why pilots don't push back, because they're trying to start their engines and do everything else at once. Well, that's somewhat salvageable. That's okay. Okay. Engine 2's coming online. And we can start engine 1. So N2's coming up. Positive N1 and 25% N2 equals fuel. Excellent. Let engine 1 stabilize. And in the meantime, I'm going to put the weather radar on. Like so. Okay. So engine 1 stabilizing. So, units of trim 3.4. So we need to trim down a little bit. There we go. Flat 5. 1, 2, 5. Transfer the power. Like so. Whoa, I still had it clicked. My bad. There we go. Packs on. APU bleed off. Probe heats, or pitostatics even. Heats on. Engine ignition continuous. APU off. Taxi, turn off lights on. And we can do a flight control check. So all the way left. All the way right. All the way back. And all the way forwards. And then the rudders, full left. And full right. Okay, that is pretty much everything to the checklist. So before taxi, generators are on, pitot heats are on, anti-ice isn't required, air conditioning a good point, so that needs to go to flight. Isolation valve auto, packs on, the engine start switches continuous, which are up here. Recall, let's have a look, checked, nothing. Flight controls, engine start levers even, idle detent, and the flight controls even are checked. Ground equipment's clear, and the APU we do not need, and that is why it's turned off. Okay, so we are good to taxi. Parking brake released, bit of power. I know it'll take a bit more power because we are extremely heavy. You can hear it struggling. That's what, 30% M1 to get it moving? A bit more than 30%. That's pretty impressive. So we're going to swing a left here onto Delta. And then that'll take us all the way up to Delta 1, and then we'll backtrack all the way of runway 32. There we go. Mandatory wing view for those of you that come here to see that. It's a shame the engine sounds don't work as well out the wing. I guess it's just another future update, but still. Okay, so it's a very, very quick taxi. I mean, Leeds is a small place. So we'll go through the before takeoff checklist. So flaps are 5 planned, 5 green light. Stabilizer trim is 3.4 units, we've already set that. Cabin call, we can do that now. There we go, that was a bit quick, but whatever. Transponder needs to be TARA, which it is. And the before takeoff checklist is complete. Okay, so we'll get the lights. Strobe lights need to come on. Turn the logo light on because it's off even because it's daytime. And packs now can go off like so, and you'll hear everything goes very quiet now. Okay, entering runway 32. Backtracking. This is going to be one epically loud takeoff. I already know it. I already know it. When you get the full like whine and grumble of the engines, it's out of this world. The thing is, I don't think it portrays that well on a YouTube video or on any video. When I watch my streams back, the same problem happened. Like the sound I hear in my headset is not the sound you hear on stream. It's like some like really crazy, bassy, earthy, like orgasmic noise. It's fantastic. Okay. So we will line up here, preferably without taking the runway lights out. Braked a bit too hard there. Right, okay. Start the clock. Landing lights on. Taxi light can come off. Here we are, lined up on runway 32. Okay, set the brakes. Right. Rudders in the middle, tillers in the middle. Here goes nothing. I'm going to hold the brakes while I stabilize the power. Looking for 40% M1, which has gone way over that. Release the brakes. There's Toga. Oh, if only I could give you my headphones right now. 92% M1, power is set. There's 80 knots, throttle hold or thrust hold. V1, rotate. Positive rate climb, gear going up. How close was that? We're on LNAV. straight into the cloud. There's climb power. Okay, we want to go speed and then 210. Okay, 3,000 feet. Turn the packs on. 1 and 2. Look at that. Okay, flaps coming up. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, we'll reset to 330. 330. Like so. Okay, so now we can go Command A, level change, we'll do 250 knots I think. We'll turn the gear off and the auto brake off. And now we can run through the after takeoff checklist, which is engine bleeds on, packs on, landing gear is up and off, flaps up with no lights, and good job, altimeters 1013, set once, twice, and 3 times on the other side. Job is a good one. Continue flying the departure. We can actually, we'll go direct somewhere. We don't really need to continue messing around with this. So we'll go direct to Lamix. So, and we'll go to VNAV. VNAV will work because we put the arrival in. VNAV speed, LNAV, and command is enunciated. Mess with the weather radar a little bit to get some better returns. Increase the ND range. There we go, beautiful. We'll go direct Lamix again, I think, because they didn't like that turn. There we go. Now we can sync the heading up. Perfect.